Breaking news.
Drama! Yes, drama when it comes to Manchester United.
It's all kicking off.
Man United won't break the bank for him. And if Man United won't break the bank for him, they've got other targets. What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. And today, this morning, I've got a question for you guys. I've got a question and I want you to give me your honest answer. No, I'm not Triple H. I'm not going to say, are you ready? Instead, I'm going to say, are you worried? Yesterday, in the transfer market, we saw a hive of activity. We saw Premier League clubs get here we goes, announce signings of multiple players. We saw Spurs announce Kudus. We saw Spurs get a here we go in just a matter of hours for Morgan Gibbs-White. We've seen Arsenal get closer to Victor Gyökeres. We've seen Arsenal get a here we go for Noni Madueke. We've seen other clubs already, like Liverpool, quickly do business in this window. We've seen other clubs like City quickly do business in this window. We've seen Newcastle get a here we go for Anthony Elanga. Meanwhile, Manchester United, radio silence. We did Matheus Cunha, but still, it's not clobbering time. Fantastic Four coming out in a few weeks' time. It's still, where's Bryan Mbeumo time? And because of the dominoes beginning to fall in the Premier League transfer market, because of those dominoes falling, we're already seeing clubs like Nottingham Forest get a lot of money for Morgan Gibbs-White, get a lot of money for Anthony Elanga, over £100 million combined, and now maybe they're going after Wissa from Brentford. And as we've heard, if Brentford were to sell Wissa, maybe that means they just say, actually, Bryan Mbeumo, we're taking him completely off the market. What does that mean for Manchester United? Do these deals at high prices, like Madueke for £50+ million, like Gibbs-White for £60+ million, does it strengthen Brentford's hand? Do they look at them and go, we think Bryan Mbeumo is much better than that, so it's actually more than £62.5 million. It's closer to 70. On top of that, you then hear the rumours and rumblings that Alejandro Garnacho, he's back at training at Carrington. Or is it just the same as Marcus Rashford? They've always been allowed back. They've always been allowed to use the facilities, but they're not training within the first team squad. Are we getting outraged over nothing? I asked the question to you guys again. Are you worried? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Click the like button. Welcome to the Transfer View. How is everybody doing? Happy Friday. Hope we're all doing good. There's already close to 600 people through the door, which is fantastic. If you haven't already, click the like button. Let's see if we can get a quick 100 likes. And also be sure to subscribe. Fabsy's in the chat. He says, good morning, Owen. Sir Owen, thank you very much. Can we get a weather update? It's hot. It's hot this morning. I'm not going to lie. It's hot this morning. But it's a beautiful day outside. I may be going for a walk a little bit later on. And speaking of which, before we get into the news, because there is a lot to get into this morning, you can see on the sidebar right there, the tour. We are getting closer and closer. What is it? It's 8 days away from our first pre-season game, which, of course, Flex will be at in Sweden against Leagues. We're about, how many days is it away from... I always get this confused, the actual date. Is it the 29th, the first preseason tour game? 27th, excuse me. So 16 days, just over 2 weeks away from our first game on tour in the United States. And of course, this year's tour is brought to you by Oxford Natural, by Gowan Life. And I did want to do something just very quickly this morning, folks. I want to do something very quickly this morning. Of course, we've been talking and seeing about KG that comedian, his optimum journey. He is fully optimized. We've heard about Flex's journey. He is optimized. A lot of people have been saying to me, Owen, you don't really talk that much about your fitness journey or your optimum journey over the last year or so. So I thought I'd do something a little bit special this morning, indeed, because we've got to start off with some good news, because it's going to be probably a bit of a moany show, to be honest. Obviously, I've been on my optimum journey as well, getting my optimum day, getting my optimum night. Day's good for weight loss, night's good for getting sleep. And I thought I'd show you a bit of a before and after. So by the magic of technology, I'm going to co-host my show right now with myself from about just over a year ago. Let's take a look. Look at that guy. Look at that guy right there. That, if I get closer to the screen, That was me. That was me. I don't know what I'm rambling on about at the time. Probably some kind of nonsense, probably some kind of rubbish. But that used to be me. That was me just over a year ago. Let's pause that guy out there. He looks shocked at what I've become too. And I look shocked at what I used to be. Yeah. And, a lot of people talk about the Optimum Day and Optimum Night, and they go, oh, and you're on Ozempic and all this kind of stuff. No, it's a supplement. It doesn't take away you have to work. It doesn't take away that you have to exercise. You have to eat well and in good moderation, everything that comes with it. But it certainly does help you. It really, really does. It certainly did for me. And now Optimum have recently had a new and improved formula developed, which improves both day and night. And actually, you don't even have to buy both. You can buy them individually. So you can get just day and you can get just night separately. The day, as I mentioned, is more for sort of focused on weight loss, focused on energy, focused on, stopping the cravings, which was a big one for me. And the Optimum Night is focused on getting better sleep, which again is a big one for me. You know me, guys. I'm a night owl. And my sleep, oh my God, it's taken a long time. And throughout my life, I've gone up and down. I've gone up and down in terms of my weight and what have you. And after sort of finishing up playing football for a while, I just went, you know what? I thought I wasn't going to become the me that I remembered, the me that I recalled, if you know what I mean. And it took me a while to get there, but with the help of Oxford Natural by Gowan Life and a lot of support and a lot of hard work, we got there in the end. So if you want to start your Oxford Natural journey, like I said, they're going to be presenting the tour throughout the summer. If you want to start your journey, it's never too late. You can always start today. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's summer or winter, forget the seasons, forget the day, forget the time. You can always start today. So if you want to get your Oxford Natural, links in the video description below. It's pinned in the chat as well. You can scan that QR code right there. And you can go to the special page. You can get your Optimum Day and Night. You can scan the QR code. You can subscribe. You can save up to 70% off. What's there to lose? You might as well just, might as well try. Why not? Why not? Why not? It's never too late, as I mentioned, folks. Never too late indeed. And big up to Oxford Natural, as always. And I wanted to, sometimes you hear it on these shows. We talk about it on these shows. Sometimes you got to see the visual, haven't you? You got to see the visual. You got to see the difference that it can make. You got to put the work in, indeed. So I appreciate everyone for all of those nice words. Let's get rid of him. Let's get rid of him. He's gone. He's gone into the past. He's gone into the past, indeed. Amador, of our first super chat of the day, says, Owen, not gonna lie, I feel sick. Where's the button?
Honestly, I feel sick. That's how I feel. I feel sick.
I feel sick. Seeing Spurs buy players, and we are dithering. Those criminals let us down in the Europa League final, and now we're dealing with the consequences. All Elite has been around for 34 months. Big up All Elite. And yes, it's AEW All in Texas this weekend. I'm going to be live on my channel. Says 2 months till the window closes. Karma right. Love you, Owen. Love you too, All Elite. Says Glory, Glory, Man United and Glory, Glory, UV. And JD United View Day 1. What a name. Says, Owen, man, you look great, bro. Congratulations. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much, my friend. It is much appreciated. And like I said, we'll keep that up on the sidebar for a little bit. So you can scan the QR code, go to the Oxford Natural website, and you can subscribe, save up to 70% off. As mentioned, links in the video description below. In addition to that, you can also click the pinned comment in the chat as well. So it's all good. It's all good. Right. Let's talk, folks. And let's talk and let's be honest with each other. This is a safe space. The Transfer View, it's a safe space for us to all share our real feelings, and all share how we're, how we're all feeling. Before I get there, Eminem with the super chat as well says, "You've killed it, Owen. I'm in the same boat. Have ended up losing 46 kg and a bit more to go. Being on Oxford Natural for half of that weight." There you go. It's not just me. So, sometimes you can see the presenter on these shows and you go, "Oh yeah, ball," or whatever. Eminem, he's also a testimony right there on the screen. He's ended up losing 46k. Brilliant, mate. That's really great work. And a bit more to go. Being on Oxford Natural for half that weight. That's fantastic. Congratulations yourself. It's like I said, you still gotta put the work in. Still gotta put the work in. Still gotta look after yourself, take care of yourself. It's not a magic pill, magic beans, or anything like that. but it certainly is a helping hand. And sometimes, especially for me, someone who had started and stopped and tried and given up, and was really at the case of just going, you know what, actually, I just don't know if I've got this in me anymore. Sometimes you just need that little bit of a boost just to get over the first wall, you know, and then you start building up some momentum. So big up to yourself as well, Eminem. Excellent stuff. Right. Transfers. This is a safe space. This is a safe space, folks. Are you worried? Not Triple H, are you ready? Are you worried? The reason is because lots of people are doing stuff in the transfer market. A lot of people are doing stuff in the transfer market at the moment, including Noni Madueke. And I know people might go, I don't really care about this one. You know, Arsenal, here we go. But it's the fact that things are happening and dominoes are falling. Last night, Arsenal got a here we go on Noni Madueke. Excess of £50 million with add-ons included. These two clubs, it felt like he was only linked to them for a week or so, a couple of weeks. Boom, that one's done. Yesterday, Spurs had a big day, didn't they? They announced Mohamed Kudus. He joined from West Ham for a round. That figure again, all of these, there's a sort of a common theme involved in all of these. It's all about what? 50 to 55 million pounds. So Kudus joins Spurs from West Ham, 55 million pounds. This one was maybe the most shocking one yesterday, which was Morgan Gibbs-White to Spurs. Here we go. It happened in the space of about, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, something like that, where it was Spurs are interested. I think Ornstein was maybe the first to say Spurs are interested in Madueke, in Morgan Gibbs-White. Maybe like 30 minutes later, it was, he's got a release clause, that's 60 million. And then about 30 minutes after that, it was, they've activated the release clause. He's leaving. Here we go. Now, granted, maybe that's a bit more of a simple deal to do because there's a release clause involved. And if they meet the release clause, there's not much more that they can do there. But that's two signings. Boom, boom, boom. And that's the difference if you win the Europa League and you're in the Champions League. But dominoes are still to fall because of that. In addition, now Nottingham Forest are in a situation where they've got all of this money. £55 million for Anthony Elanga, £60 million for Morgan Gibbs-White. Of course, they don't get all of it. There are some salon clauses in there for Elanga to United, for Gibbs-White to Wolves, but they've got a big pot of money there. And according to David Ornstein, Forest are now going after Johan Wissa. And they've tried to go after him before. The bid was very low initially. It was like it's below 25 million they're willing to pay in January. Brentford value him in excess of £50 million. But Forest have the money. And if they decide to up that bid, and if they decide to get Wissa, then Brentford will be in a situation where they could easily go, look, we lost Thomas Frank, we lost Wissa, we lost our captain. We're not going to sell Brian Mbeumo now because we've got to keep someone. And frankly, we don't need the money anymore. Now, in terms of how could we maybe get the Brian Mbeumo one over the line, you know, we're getting money from Anthony Elanga. We're also getting money for Alvaro Carras, also known as Fernandez. Yesterday there was a here we go for his move to Real Madrid. Manchester United have a salon clause and they have to confirm that they're not going to buy him back. So there's going to be no, they're not going to activate the buyback clause. And then he'll go and do his medical and what have you. And I think from that one, we get around, I believe it's £7-ish million. £7-ish million is what we get. And I'm not going to lie to you folks. Yesterday, seeing all of that activity happen and then just hearing the radio silence from Manchester United, how can you not be worried? I mean, I don't mean to come on the show this morning, and I don't like to come on these kind of shows and sort of sow that kind of nervousness or dissension or just moan for the sake of moaning or go, oh, the world's ending, the sky's falling, this, that, and the other. But we were nervous last week. We were having this conversation on Monday. I think last Friday we had a very similar conversation, didn't we? Of going, you know, pre-season starts soon and players are coming back. We were talking about players coming back, weren't we, last week? We were like, players coming back Monday. Surely something's going to happen. I was going, and Mbeumo by Monday, something's going to happen over the weekend. And what we have seen is, players going back to pre-season has made things happen, just not for us, for everyone else. Spurs players are back at pre-season now. They've signed 2 first-teamers. Arsenal are back at first team training now. Look how many players they've signed and got through the door. And are still going to get. Liverpool and City done beforehand. They'll probably, most likely, they will get more. Newcastle, They've got PSR issues. They're getting people through the door as well. And all the clubs I've named there didn't finish 15th last season. That's the other part of it too. It would be one thing to say, well, last season we finished 4th or 5th. Our squad's still good, so we'll be in and around it. We just need to sort of sprinkle some little bits more on, so I'm not too concerned about that. It's when the season ended, there was an element of euphoria from United fans that the season was over. We didn't have to talk about it again. We didn't have to reflect on it again. We could just look forward. A lot of these players, we wouldn't see them wearing a Man United shirt again. They wouldn't be involved, and we were going to be bringing in more players. We're going to be bringing in more players, new players, refresh. This was the open heart surgery that we needed. This is what it was going to be. And since then, we thought this was right. Matheus Cunha was an early here we go. Great, because there was a release clause. And then when the Brian and Mbeumo stuff did first start coming out, what's that, like 6 weeks ago? 6 weeks ago now, that was like, this is good. This is good pace. The clip went viral of us celebrating on the red carpet because the expectation was, well, in a couple of weeks that one will get done. And 6 weeks later, we've been frozen in time for literally Marcel. You know, time is just a construct. He's right. He always is in the end, Marcel, because for 6 odd weeks we've just done nothing. We've raised more money from sell-on clauses than we have by actually selling players this summer because we haven't sold anyone. Players have left on, their contracts have expired. Lindelof, Eriksen, etc. Johnny Evans, and he's got a new job back at the club. But the only money we've raised is by sell-on clauses, by Elanga, by Alvaro Fernandez, by, was it Maxi Oladelli as well? It's incredible. And on top of that, just to kind of show how badly we've operated, because it's not just a now, it's also, we're still dealing with sins of the past. We're still dealing with sins of the past. But it just goes to show, two of those players that we're getting money for now in Anthony Elanga and Alvaro Fernandez. Anthony Elanga is being sold for £55 million. What do we sell him for? 15. For Alvaro Fernandez, how much is he being sold for? And what we sold him for? I can't even remember how much we sold him for. It wasn't that much. Alvaro Fernandez, Benfica fee. And bear in mind, that was in a window where we were looking for a left back. He joined Benfica on a deal that rose to £7.8 million. £7.8 million all in. That's what it went to. Now, if I did that to Real Madrid, what's the Real Madrid fee? 50 million euros. 43 million pounds. So collectively, Anthony Elanga and Alvaro Fernandez have both gone for close to 100 million pounds. Collectively, we sold him for about just over 20 in the space of 2 years. In the space of 2 years. Now, yes, we are making some money from it, but it just goes to show. And as Imran says right there in the chat, they were homegrown players. That would have been pure profit for us as well. And Paul Merson says, for Ruben Amorim, not only am I worried about the lack of transfer activity, I'm also worried. In fact, I'm even more worried. I'm even more worried than I was for Ruben Amorim at the end of last season. After the Europa League final, and everyone obviously was rightfully so very emotional and very upset because no Champions League, no European football whatsoever. A lot of players that we were maybe going to get went off the table. I worried for Ruben Amorim because I just thought, well, is he going to get the backing in the summer window? Is he going to get players in? Because the line of thinking was, well, he can't get results with this team because he doesn't have his players. But we're now into the transfer window, days away from pre-season fixtures starting, and he's got the same players. Literally the same players. Matheus Cunha. And if anything, I feel bad for him as well. because we're doing what we always do with new signings when we're looking at one person having to be the Messiah again, aren't we? Going, Matheus Cunha, I mean, you've got to show us something. Try and bail us out the shit, please. It's all got to be on you. And if he has a couple of good games, we're like, yes, great, fantastic. And then if he has a couple of bad games, see, he wasn't even that good. He shouldn't have been 62.5 million. He can't do it all by himself, can he? So, there is still, it's the cliche, and it is still technically accurate. There still is plenty of time to go until the end of the window. Of course there is. The window shuts, when is it? September the 2nd or something? Transfer window deadline. Monday, the 1st of September. So it's still a while off. It shuts at 7 p.m. on that day. So deals can and still will happen. But this transfer window already, in terms of the speed of it, feels atypical from a lot of clubs. When you look at a lot of clubs, they've already done quite a lot of business already. Manchester United, we're actually kind of on a normal sort of trend of how long we take to do deals, really, isn't it? I think it was last year. I don't think we had brought in anyone by July. Year before that, I think we just brought in, by this date in July, we just brought in Mason Mount. Year before that, I think it was just Malacia. So if you compare the last few seasons, we're about on par of being July 11th. We've got one player through the door, but we need more. We need more. And it has kind of, I mean, look, ultimately, if Bryan Mbeumo gets through the door and it's done, we'll just be happy. Obviously, we'll be happy to have him. Has it taken a bit of the shine off of it? I mean, to an extent, because it's going to be like, right, finally, great, done. But on to the next. On to the next, because we were talking about on to the next 6 weeks ago. And like I said yesterday, the story about the recruitment overhaul is great, but where's that been for a year? Where has that been for a year? And Ruben Amorim, if he couldn't get the best out of them last season, why would he be able to get the best out of them in, a couple of months' time if we haven't got any new players? He'll be gone because he won't get the results because he didn't get results last season. I don't know, guys. I don't know. So to answer, if I was answering my own question, are you worried? It would be a definitive yes. Things can still happen. Things can still change. We will sign more players. I don't think it's going to be a situation when the window shuts and we've just signed Matheus Cunha. But you worry about who are we going to be picking from by that point? Because some of the targets we may have been going for might not even be realistic anymore because clubs have already done business and they've either already been sold or they've sold other players and they don't need to sell that player anymore in the case of Bryan Mbeumo. And we don't know, I've been saying this all week, who's next? And I'm not saying it because Goldberg's retiring tomorrow. Who is next legitimately after Bryan Mbeumo, whenever that happens, who is next? Where is like the most concrete link to a player after that? Is it Ollie Watkins? Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. Which is alarming. Very. Aki with a super chat says, I want you to put a poll on worried. RIP United. I can do that. I can put a poll on worried. We've got close to 1,300 people watching, by the way. We're halfway to 500 likes. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Let's see if we can get to 500 likes. Solo and show on a Friday. I know we hope to be more positive on a Friday, but also a programming update. Reminder, we will be live at 4 p.m. today for an episode of The Trinity. It'll be KG, that comedian. It will be myself. And it will be, at this point, the unofficial fourth member, of The Trinity. That is, of course, Tier 1 James from Muppeteers. Yes. He'll be joining us live. So I'm sure we'll have plenty to discuss at 4 p.m. live. So be sure to join us then. Poll is up in the chat. Are you worried? Yes or no? That's simple. Are you worried? Yes or no? Tabrez says, I reckon we've purposely delayed and booms to save wages. You know what I would love as well? To go through a transfer window where we don't have to sort of think like United are playing some kind of 4D chess, because the reality is usually they're not. That's always the case with us, don't we? We always do. Are United not doing this because they're actually trying to do this? Or is this player doing this because they're trying to do this? My favorite one is when the manager doesn't name a full subs bench and they do the whole, is he trying to send a message to the board? And go, probably not. He just thinks the players are shit. Probably. Usually when we think it's like 4G chess, it's never actually usually the case. Show says, it's only July 11th, trust in the elite structure. It wouldn't be a morning show without shows. Sarcastic super chat of the day. So we should have like a jingle. We should have like a jingle for that. We've got to work on that one. Nick says, look how quick the Spurs window changed, Owen. I know. So it's not impossible. But for United, could you imagine? Could you imagine United doing what Spurs did yesterday with Morgan Gibbs-White, linked to him? I mean, last year we almost got like euphoric when it happened with some players of like, I don't know, we look linked, and then next thing you know, it's going to a medical. But we also know Man United's financial position. Every time we've activated a release clause in the last couple of years, we've negotiated with the selling club because we don't really want to pay the release clause. We want to pay it in installments still. So a bit like with Matheus Cunha, when the release clause was £62.5 million, and I think was it in 3 installments, and we still haggled with that. Could we pay it in 5? And they were like, no, the release clause is pay it in 3. All right. Well, just check. So if we were linked to Morgan Gibbs-White, we would have had probably 2 weeks of United still talking about that release clause, and they're still talking about, does it have to be 60? Does it have to be 6? Can we give you 62, but over 7 years? Could it be something like that? Nick says Cunha, like Chelsea did with Pedro, then bring in 10 alongside Mbeumo, or Cunha striker, Ahmed Mbeumo behind him, then bring in a quality midfielder. Like I said, I still think we'll get players. It's not to say that I'm worried that we're going to go through the window and we're not going to buy players. We are. It's just, I think, infuriating that we all know where this is going, don't we? We all know this is going to be a long, drawn-out window. We're going to talk a little bit about Garnacho, Rashford, and those players that were told they could leave. And they probably will leave, but the likelihood is they probably won't leave till what? August, maybe even after the season has started, and there's going to be chaos in the last few days. It's inevitable. The squad to go on tour in America gets announced in what? It's like 18 odd days or 16 days. It'll probably get announced in a couple of weeks. It'll probably get announced in a few weeks' time. Then when Garnacho, Rashford either is or isn't on that list, along with Anthony and Malacia, etc., when they are, and Sancho, when they are or aren't on that list, that will be a story. So I think it's just like, where's the button?
Well, it's Groundhog Day again.
We've lived this. We're tired of the same. It's like a show, and every season you go, I'm tired of the same storyline. I'm tired of the same storyline, but the showrunner goes, but that's all we've got. That's the only ideas we've got. That's how we work. That's how we've operated. So you're just going to have to sort of live through it. You go, oh, okay. So they will happen. It's just, yeah. Aki says, Owen, I want to ask the panel, is United's primary focus on the regeneration of Old Trafford, or making a competitive squad with money spent on all areas? Well, this is also the other part of it, Aki. You bring up a good point there. Yesterday, or a couple of days, over the last few days, really, we've seen a couple of those stories, haven't we, about, Omar Barada welcomes Lord Coe's 10-year, regeneration, renovation plan of the sort of the greater Manchester area and what have you. And you go, it's great. It's the same way that whenever it was last season, when the stories came out about the new stadium, and you see the pictures and stuff like that, and you go, it's great. But also, like, what are you doing for me lately? And also, that's a stadium befitting of a side that's winning. I mean, could you imagine the situation if we're going to build that stadium for a side that's finishing 15th in the league, and even after that, consistently finishing mid-table. It's just crazy. And I know you could say, well, these are sort of worst case scenarios. That's quite a sort of dystopian thought process of you there, Owen. But after last season, we spoke about this at the end of the season. After last season, we're not in the position, I think, as fans now, to be basically ruling out anything. We can't. Because if you'd have said after we finished 8th and won the FA Cup, next season you're going to finish you're going to finish 15th. People go, no, I'm not. I'm not going to finish. Not going to finish 15th. That's not going to happen. No way. We can't rule out anything. We can't, which is really scary. Really, really scary. So yes, that's the transfer activity concerned. We're off to a roaring start this morning, I know. Brian and Boom, actually, where are we at in the likes? We're over 300 likes. I did see earlier on, Just Josh Media Graphics Guru Visual Ninja was in the chat. Big up to Just Josh Media Graphics Guru Visual Ninja. He'll also be on tour with KG, that comedian, with Jurgen Fleck in the United States. He'll be vlogging. He'll be filming. He'll be cameramanning. He'll be microphoning. He'll be staying up to silly hours across different time zones to upload stuff. So as I said, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you have the notification bell clicked on, because if you've ever followed us through the preseason tour, upload schedules kind of go out the window. The only thing that's kind of for sure is I'll be live every morning at 9 a.m. And then basically every other show is very ad hoc. Very ad hoc. So yes, be sure to click the notification bells, then you'll be notified whenever anything goes up. So just a bit of an update on Brian and Mbeumo, because this is just a little bit that was quite interesting yesterday about whether he's frustrated, as you and I, the viewer, about a lack of activity. This comes from the Cameroon assistant coach, and was a quote that floated around quite a bit yesterday. It said the following. It said, Cameroon assistant coach Ashu Cyprian Passong has revealed he recently had a conversation with Mbeumo and spoke to him about his proposed move to Old Trafford. He said, quote, yes, obviously he's very frustrated with how long it's taken, but he's a professional and anticipates these things. I spoke to him about a week ago, and he's very calm with everything that is going on. But of course, he's already told them he wants to go to United. He just wanted the two clubs to find an agreement. And he's very grateful for the opportunity that he's been given by Brentford in his career. So Brian Mbeumo, he's calm, but also frustrated. You and me both, mate. As I mentioned, I think he's still out in LA, or he's in America somewhere. There's probably no point traveling back to London to go to training for Brentford. I still am of the mindset that I think United's plan might be to just pick him up along the way and be like, actually, we can save you a ticket instead of flying from England to America. If you're there, we might as well just sort of pick you up, and then you can just travel. We won't pay for it, actually. You just travel. You just travel to wherever. Travel to New Jersey initially, and then we'll, then we'll do that. Yeah, that's what we should do. Right. So, yeah, I can imagine he's frustrated. We are all frustrated, particularly when no one can really explain what the holdup really is in this Mbeumo one, is it? Because a couple of weeks ago, it was, or even when that stuff was happening, I think, was it last week? When it was, they wanted £62.5 million. United gave them an offer that was £62.5 million. Then that turned into, Brentford want the majority of it up front. And then it's the structure of add-ons and what have you. Do I think, am I worried about the Forest one with Wissa, and that's Forest going to get him and that's going to stop Mbeumo? I'm not too worried about that yet. I'm not too worried about that yet. And I do think eventually we will sign Brian Mbeumo. But I just see everything that's happening. I just think it's playing into Brentford's hands, honestly. It's just, if anything, it's more just sort of strengthening their argument. Their argument is, look at all of these players in the Premier League that are moving right now, whether it's Alanga, whether it was Gittins, whether it was Gibbs White, whether it was Madueke. For some reason, the magic number is always around £55 million. It's always around 50 to 60. It's in there somewhere. That's the magic number. And their point is, Brentford, and it's a fair one, well, if you look at Alanga, or if you look at Madueke, they didn't get, how many goals was it? 20 goals in the Premier League last season. Brian Mbeumo did. As the sporting director came out for Brentford, he's our best player. And he's better than those two. So he should be worth more. So, and this is also the thing of having to do your deals early, because you can get ahead of the market. Now we're in a situation where the market's starting to dictate prices, because people can point to other deals that are actively going on and going, he's better than him. He's worth more than him. He's more valuable to us than that. So it needs to be more. So there has to be, you would think there has to be some kind of movement in the next couple of days. Like, Ineos will have to react, because otherwise more deals are going to happen. And I think it'll just strengthen Brentford's argument again, really. So, and as All Elite there says in the chat, you know, Laurie said it yesterday, United are haggling over around 2 to 5 million. They're trying to be more disciplined, which again is fair. This is, I do understand this, is that we've got this horrific reputation. We've got this reputation, which is entirely earned and justified of. We are pushovers in the transfer market. We overpay and we put players on high contracts. And because of that, whenever we go after a player, they see us coming and we're like, we get into this situation now where we're slow, we become desperate, and we just end up giving them the money. The issue is if Brentford go now, actually, I know we said 62.5 million pounds, but we actually want sort of 65 and maybe a couple more million in add-ons. At this point, then I would say, well, look at the market. I think that's entirely justified. We're going to have to pay it because we don't. And I'm not one of those people just pay the money. I think it would be a good investment. I don't think it's still overpaying all that much. And the market's starting to inflate even more, isn't it? Because who knows who's going to be bought now for like 65, 70 million. And if a deal like that happens, then we're in the right shit, because Brentford will point to that one and go, he's better than him. Raise it. And also we're getting some money in from Alanga, from Alvaro Fernandez, from other salon clauses that we've got. And here's one: sell some players. Please sell some players. Raise some funds. So I do think it will happen, because it has to. It has to. It has to happen. Oh, good grief. We're 70 likes away from 400 likes. If you haven't already, click the like button. Super chat from Lil Yo-Yo. It says, Owen, have you heard about Man United's OnlyFans account to raise money? It's our cheat code to overcome PSR and become a force again. Wow, Lil Yo-Yo. Sounds to me like you're a subscriber. Sounds like Lil Yo-Yo's just kind of kink-shamed himself there in front of nearly 1,300 people on a Friday. Because Lil Yo-Yo's seemingly, and have you heard? Have I heard? Is this a referral? Do you get kickbacks? Is that what it is? Lil Yo-Yo? I'm looking at, Barada thirst traps. Sir Jim feet pictures. Dave Brailsford ASMR. Whatever that would be. Marginal gains. Marginal gains. You go, oh, God. No Yo-Yo. What kind of weird shit you into, mate? Oh, what's going on over there at KG Reckless Sports? Now we know why it's reckless. Oh, wow. Very, very odd. Very odd, Lil Yo-Yo. It's got the shivers. Let's move on very quickly. Let's talk about this. This was a story yesterday. Alejandro Garnacho. Now, this was one that I thought was quite a lot of fake outrage. I must say that I thought this was a bit of fake outrage. So this story came out yesterday. I came from ESPN. I don't know if that's a Spanish or Argentinian ESPN journalist, But this was, an update came out yesterday, and there is an update on Rashford this morning, so we'll talk about that as well. So he said that Alejandro Garnacho has been given permission to join Manchester United's pre-season training at Carrington amid his uncertain future. And obviously that led to, here we go, Player FC's winning again. I'm just sick of this shit. Oh, United, you've let me down again. I can't believe it. Oh, he was in the Aston Villa shirt. He should be banished from Carrington. He should not be allowed in. They were showing the meme of that guy, the NFL player, and he shows up to the preseason thing and he can't get in the door. And it's like no entry. It's should have happened for Garnacho. And then you did have to go.
No, wait a minute. Wait.
Isn't that just another way of saying what we already know, which is they've never been banned from Carrington in the first place? Rashford's been there for like 3 days. Rashford's been there since Monday, because they're allowed to go to Carrington. They can't actually contractually ban them, exile them, and say you are not allowed back into the training ground. They're an employee, so unless they are suspended, unless there's some kind of disciplinary action for why they can't come into Carrington, they can come in. They're not training with the squad. Now, it'll be a different thing if the report comes out and says that, he was training with Ruben Amorim's first team this week. That's different. And that is when you would go, right, what happened then? Because a week ago, he wasn't part of plans. Now he is. What the hell's going on? But this is just the same situation as Rashford, which is, He's allowed in Carrington. I would assume he's either doing work in the gym or doing work in... We don't even know if he's actually back. He's allowed. Look at the report again. He's been given permission, which they always had permission. Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, Malacia, Anthony, they've all got permission. They can come back. They've also got permission to not come back. So I really didn't see it that much of an outrage kind of thing, to be totally honest with you. I thought that was, to be honest, kind of horseshit. And a lot of negative things happened yesterday for United, but that I don't think was one really at all. This just goes to show the saga that is involved with all of this. This was a story from Stephen Ralston from the Manchester Evening News this morning, who said that, and this is where we're at, folks, Marcus Rashford arrived at Carrington around 4:45 p.m. yesterday, shortly after Manchester United head coach Ruben Amorim had left the training ground. Until these guys leave, this is what it's going to be. Those two articles I've just read to you there, let's face it, they are such non-stories. They're nothing. Alejandro Garnacho has permission to go to Carrington. He never didn't. There was never a situation where he was banned. But because everyone's very tense right now and very fidgety at the moment and nervous, you hear, well, he's got permission to go back into Carrington. What? Well, yeah, it's the same. We're doing stories now. Rashford showed up. Was Ruben there? No. All right. Okay. So, and that's going to be a thing. That is the soap opera. This is going to be the soap opera, isn't it? Until they leave. Are they back at Carrington? I sound like Dave Brailsford again. Marginal gains. Garnacho's got permission. Not for that. It's permission to go back at Carrington. Rashford's just arrived. Amorim's not here. All that silent stuff. Because we're in a vacuum of news. I saw someone in the comments the other day saying, I wish there was like more transfer shows going on at the moment. I thought we can't do them. we can't do them. There's no transfer news. It's difficult. It's difficult to do one every morning, isn't there? Because there's no news a lot of the time. So let alone multiple in a day. Good grief. So until they move, that's what it's going to be. I mean, just a little bit on Rashford possibly leaving. Florian Plettenberg reported this morning, saying, as revealed on the 6th of July, the priority for FC Barcelona is Marcus Rashford. Barca want to try again for Rashford and are prepared to go all in, just like All in Texas this weekend. I'll be live tomorrow, just before 8 o'clock. Be sure to subscribe at WrestleNews 365. But he continues. A few weeks ago, Luis Diaz was priority number one as reported, but Liverpool rejected the approach. Rashford is now the clear number one target. Talks are ongoing. Green light from Hansi Flick was already given days ago. The 27-year-old winger is set to leave Manchester United. Well, good. I'll be honest. I'll believe it when I see it. I will believe it when I see it, because I feel like we've heard that a lot. Marcus Rashford, maybe dreams do come true. Like I said last week, we do have happy endings, not in that way. It's been a strange show this morning. Apologies. But still, maybe he's going to get what he wants. Barca finally decided, you know what? We're going to exercise plan E. We had plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. We're on to plan E, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And if you're going to go all in, Barca, then buy him. None of this loan shit. None of this loan or anything like that. Buy him. I saw an article yesterday said that Manchester United's stance on it was, you were willing to pay, was it like £58 million for Nico Williams? We'll give you Rashford for less. 40, you can have him. And he really wants to go there. He doesn't want to go to anywhere else. This guy signed for Aston Villa. The first interview he did was like, I'm not here for a long time. I'm not going to stay. They had an option on him. And he's like, I'm not here for a long time. Because he always wanted Barca. If Barca truly want him, if Hansi Flick has truly given him the green light, go and get him. Go and get him. And then once they've bought him, they can have the drama about whether they can register him or not, and keep going on from that. Just because that will be a thing as well. That will be a thing of well, can't he be registered, or we don't know. That's their problem. Figure that one out yourselves, Barca. If you're going to give us £40 million, that's pure profit. The magic figure, times it by 2 or 3, we can spend 80, 120 million pounds. Go and get it. And for the sort of Rashford stands, that'll be, I see you can't be shit. That's why he's going to Barca. It's never about quality with Marcus Rashford. Never about quality. It was about everything comes to an end, unfortunately. Everything comes to an end. The days of, the one player club now just don't exist that much. I think there's a lot. I think the best thing for Marcus Rashford would be to get out of England. I think there's just a lot of cynicism that surrounds Marcus Rashford now. I think that for a while, maybe some of the things he said don't really match up with some of the things that he's done, about being committed to the club, and then actions maybe not matching up that he's committed to the club. I think he's gone so far down the sort of maybe PR route that it's very difficult to determine what's authentic and what's PR with him as well. And I think there's just a lot of cynicism, isn't there? Case in point, when Henry Winter came out the other day and said, Rashford, I understand that Rashford has never asked to leave, the comments were all filled with like, we don't care anymore, because I don't think people particularly care that much what is or isn't the true story when it comes to Marcus Rashford about if he forced out, did he ask to leave, this, that, and the other, because it's just over. I think that he needs a fresh start. I would also highly recommend whoever does surround you for your PR and all that kind of stuff, get rid, start fresh, because it's just not it. And there is this level of, like I said, of sort of cynicism, I think, when it comes to anything he says and does now. And I do feel for him in that regard, because he's in a bit of a catch-22, because he's now, because of the level of cynicism that there is towards Marcus Rashford with what he says, that if he's being honest, people go, it's bullshit, PR. If he's doing PR, people go, it's bullshit, PR. Because we can't tell the difference anymore. Because it's happened for so long. It's the boy who cried wolf, isn't it? It's the boy who cried wolf principle, where it's like you don't know what is and isn't real now. And because the words are one thing, but behavior is another, or it just you don't know. You just don't know. And I think that's where it's come from now, where you just go, I can't. And eventually you just choose to blanket, well, I'm not going to believe anything, and I'm just tired of it. That's where you get to in the end, because it's too difficult. It's too difficult to go through that all the time. You just grow numb to it. And I think that's probably the story of Marcus Rashford at Manchester United. So hopefully that one happens. Hopefully Man United get the money, and hopefully he does well. It's always good to see a Marcus Rashford playing well, and hopefully he plays for England and goes to the World Cup. I was thinking that yesterday. Oh, this time next year, World Cup. Oh, bloody hell! I remember doing the last World Cup on this channel with the famous video. Is it still on here? We've still got Panenka. Look at this.
Hakimi for the quarterfinals. Hakimi, Panenka's it. Panenka's it. Oh my God! Composure, balls of steel, and Morocco are.
But that's still there. That's an old clip. It's an old clip. Panenka. Yeah. It's gonna be. I mean, I don't think. I don't know if we'll do it on this channel next year. We'll probably do it. It'll probably be on Football Flex. It would probably be. Yeah, it'll probably be on Football Flex. But that's probably another one. That's probably another one. Once again, old me. If you didn't see earlier on, I can go back to my co-host for today, which is old Owen. There you go. He's back. Old Owen. Yeah, maybe I should just sometimes do some shows with old Owen. Maybe occasionally he comes out. Maybe old Owen. That's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. But yes, as you can see on the sidebar right there, like I mentioned earlier on, I've been on my Optimum journey, and you can be on yours as well. Links in the video description below. You can scan the QR code right there. You can subscribe to Oxford Natural by Gowan Life. It can get up to 70% off if you do subscribe. A reminder too, when it comes to all of the stuff from Oxford Natural by Gowan Life, particularly the Optimum. Reminder, it's a new and improved formula now, and you can buy separate. Previously, you bought them together. Now you can buy them separate. You can buy your Optimum Day and you can buy your Optimum Night. Day helps with your weight loss, with your cravings, with your sugar spikes. Night helps you to get better sleep, which is a key component of it as well. And it's never too late to start. Never too late to start. So you can, like old Owen, you can turn into new Owen, current Owen. I know the headphones are the same, but apart from my scuff mark, which I still haven't coloured in because I don't want to. I don't want to. Can't be bothered. So yes, there you go, guys. Have I got that over? Yes, links in the video description below for that. Scan the QR code pinned in the chat. Ridwan says, watch along's back next Saturday. Of course. I'll be here. Fleck will be in Sweden. I'll be here in the Asylum for next weekend's fixture against Leeds. So yeah, you know, playing football again. Oh God. Later on today, we'll be live. Trinity, 4 p.m. live. We'll be live for that one. It'll be KG, that comedian, myself, and Tier 1 James from Muppeteers. And Samuel says, Owen, what is the wrestling channel called for all in Texas? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked, actually. I'm very glad you asked because, you know, some people say, Owen's got a wrestling channel. I didn't know that. I didn't know Owen had a wrestling channel. Yes, the rumors are true. You can see it right there. It's on the sidebar too. It's called Owen Wrestling News 365. I've got a very busy weekend this weekend. I'm probably not, it's kind of going to be this evening because I'm probably not going to sleep for like 2 days. Tomorrow, I've got AW All in Texas, which is starting 8 p.m. UK time. So it's a good start time. I'll be live maybe like half an hour before because there's quite an extensive pre-show. So I'll be live probably about 7:30-ish UK time. Then I'll have a live post-show afterwards. Then after that, I'll be live for Saturday, same day, Saturday night's main event. I'll be live. Goldberg versus Gunther, World Heavyweight Championship, Goldberg's retirement match. I'll be live for that. Then I'll be live again after that show's finished with a Saturday night's main event post-show. Then tomorrow, the day after, on Sunday, I'll also be live for WWE Evolution, which is the all-women's PLE. I'll be live for that one too. That's normal start time, so probably like around midnight-ish. So yeah. A couple of super chats here before I wrap things up. Owen, what do you want United to give? What do you want United to give into Brentford? Not necessarily. I'm not saying give them the money because they're asking 80 million. I'm more saying like if it is a case of 2.5 million, we've just got that, so we should probably, probably just pay that. I though, really. Big Yo-Yo says, thanks, Owen. Barada thirst traps made me laugh. Coffee all over my shirt. I apologize. I hope it wasn't a white shirt, and I hope the stains come out of the coffee, obviously. That's a bit disturbing. Finally, get to see a live show at 3 a.m. in Dallas. Great work. Han Soloing. I like it. I like it. May the force be with you. Terrence says, about the Mbeumo deal, if it breaks down with Wissa expected to leave, do we have a plan B? Look elsewhere for his position or maybe a cheaper price? That's my concern too. That's my concern as well. Like I said, who's next? Who's next? I don't know. But I'll tell you who is next, actually. If I turn the redirect on, if my bloody thing worked, there you go. If I turn the redirect on, I'll tell you who's next. It could be KG's Reckless Sports. Are they going to be live, though? That's a good question this morning. Oh, no, he's not. Can't turn the redirect on. Can't turn the redirect on. It's not set up. You know, not set up. Maybe I'll redirect you to. I'll redirect to Minute Football. There you go. She's going to be live at 4:30, but I'll put a redirect on. Put a redirect on, so you can go show her some love. Go subscribe to her channel. Always have a redirect. Always have a redirect. You know. So there you go. Anyway, guys, have a good one. I'll be back later on 4 p.m. for the Trinity.